Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're taking a look at Syscoin, and just before we do, we always look at Bitcoin, get a quick understanding of the market, just so we know kind of what's going on. Every good trader will look at both of those. And if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, of course, but this is always for educational purposes only. Keep in mind, I've been in the industry for over 15 years, so I know a thing or two here, and my goal is to help educate you on how to become a better trader. So we'll take a look at that here as well, and feel free to join my Patreon community, where I do have basically a signal group, and I send out signals for every single trade that I take. It's a really awesome experience. Check that out in your own time. Take a look here at Bitcoin. First things first. We have the price kind of going sideways for right now, sort of consolidating right around 60,500, but for lack of better terms, we couldn't break that resistance of about 63,800, and we have a support level here at about 57,500, which was essentially broken very hard on Friday, and we kind of just tapered off so far this weekend. Normally weekends are pretty strong, greenish weekends, for lack of better terms, but that's it's not happening based on the fact that we increased almost 10% in one day on Friday. So my expectation here is on Monday, we should see some type of consolidation where the price would likely retrace. It's kind of the natural law of things, but we will see here soon what happens. But for right now, Bitcoin's in obviously very good shape. We're well above 60,000, and hopefully hold strong above 60,000. We'll see what happens soon. I'm holding off on taking a position myself with my communities or my community here because the simple fact that we want to just kind of see what happens on Monday. It could increase, but I think the likelihood of a retracement where the whales take some profits is pretty likely. That usually happens Monday, Tuesday. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, let's go ahead and take a look here at Syscoin. And we always start with the one-day chart and work our way down. Let's go ahead and go back a little bit ways. And this is, as you can tell, they've been around for a while. And yep, did some things back in 2018. So all in all, I would expect this to do something very similar. This is actually going to be a coin that could likely take off again. Hopefully it can break its all-time high. Let's see what's going on here. Let's go ahead and just see if we can mark that here. First of all, so all-time high, at least closing all-time high is about 97 cents. So we'll just go ahead and mark that over here. See where that kind of shows here for us. So 97 cents. Right about there. All right. So let's go ahead and put that on the charts here for now, because that is approximately the major resistance, at least as far as the one-day candlestick closing back in 2018. So that's effectively the high if you think about it that way. Now, moving forward, also note too, we have the price is well above both moving averages. I mean, that's kind of goes without saying, obviously. What we want to do is mark some support and resistance zones here as well, some more recent ones, just to kind of see where the price may retrace. Because oftentimes when you get an increase this size, the likelihood of it coming down at least 50% is pretty high. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 42 cents here, because that is the most recent high that was stopped out. So we'll go ahead and mark that. And what we'll do next is take a look, see if we have any resistances, or we'll go ahead and mark this guy here as well, 49 cents. See what's going on. All right. So we got kind of a support channel here. I think the likelihood of the price kind of consolidating between here is pretty high. We could probably even pull up Fibonacci and see as well if that does kind of communicate the same thing. And we can see we've got this support level here right there, about 42, but 46 is essentially Fibonacci. So it's basing it off of the most recent, right around there, the most recent high. So that's good. Yeah, so essentially those support and resistance zones are pretty straightforward. So all in all, the likelihood of the price kind of consolidating in that area is pretty high. So we should expect that. So what would be awesome is that the price were to kind of just say consolidate down to about 42 cents and effectively bounce and then increase from there. Then that would get a good position to go ahead and take entry. I prefer to go ahead and add to my position or take an open position essentially closer to major support levels. All right, and Fibonacci just kind of just reiterated that for us here, where 42 to 46 is a strong support channel. All right, go ahead and take a quick look here at RSI. No surprise there. The price is well over 70. When you see 70 over, RSI over 70 on the one-day chart, that is cause for, I wouldn't say concern, but the likelihood of it coming back down and retracing is fairly high. But the good news is, just say we're to consolidate for a couple more days, stay under 70, it's well over 50, and it's holding as essentially a support level. Obviously, we had a convergence on the MACD here today. Actually, it looks like it triggered yesterday, but I think it was just because this candlestick hit so hard earlier today that it kind of shows that. That's neither here nor there. We don't really need to worry about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4 hour. As we can see here, 46 cents, or sorry, 47 appears to be somewhat of a resistance here. So we can tell the price is kind of getting held down right there, which again is pretty normal. If you are new to just say cryptocurrency or just trading in general, the general rule of thumb is that the price, when it increases so high, so quickly, right? Because just for example, let's get an idea here. How much of an increase was that? 125% in under a 4-hour candlestick time frame. So 4 hours, the price jumped up 125%. Now, when it happens like that, just say it jumps up, even 20, 30%, the likelihood of it coming down is very high, right? The continuation for this is going to be low. It needs to kind of consolidate first. The reason I say that is because, just imagine like falling down a flight of stairs. It's going to hurt like hell. You're going to break some bones. You're going to bring a neck brace, maybe a wheelchair. It's going to take a long time to recover. You may not even recover. Coins are the same way, right? They jump up so darn quick that they have to retrace and come back down. There's like this cooling off period. So the higher they go up, the longer it takes for it to come back up, based on the simple fact that it has to come down. So I hope that makes sense. Just imagine falling down, tripping and falling and scuffing your knee. You're going to be up and running right away, right? That's what a small increase and a small retracement does. But a large increase and a large retracement, it takes longer to recover. So don't expect this to just go shoot to the moon tomorrow. If you hear anybody else saying that, I don't think it's wise to consider based on the simple fact that these spikes happen. But all in all, with coins like this, it's important to recognize that it's going to take a little while for it to come back. So try not to FOMO in if that makes any sense, because the whales are taking their profits and they're laughing all the way to the bank right now. And a lot of us are kind of left with a higher position, hopefully waiting for the price to come back up. So just bear that in mind. If you're going to average your price down, closer to support here, right around 42 would be a good consideration. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the 1 hour chart here, see what's going on, see if we got any improvement. So we got, most of that movement was in 2 hours. That's pretty significant. I'm willing to guess, obviously, we have a lot more volume here in the recent past, for obvious reasons. And then what we're going to do here on the 1 hour chart is we're going to take a quick look at the cloud. It's kind of null and void, but I like to look at it anyways. And the reason why is because the Ishimoku cloud, if you're new to it, when the price breaks above, it's considered a buy signal. When it's below, it's a sell signal, right? So again, hypothetically, this was telling us that we had a buy signal back here when the price broke above. Now it's hard to really specify because it breaks above and cuts below often, right? Those are periods of consolidation. But what we probably could have done is looked at the 4 hour chart, saw a MACD convergence, and hit it right there. It could have very well been a good indication of a buy signal. But that's not what I'm getting at here. I'm not trying to say we missed out on an opportunity. Obviously, we did if we didn't get in that earlier. However, what I'm getting at here is when the price consolidates here, just say it consolidates closer to 42 cents, and it comes over here and it breaks into the cloud, the likelihood of it kind of continuing upwards and pushing up is higher, right? Because that the Ishimoku cloud is kind of a continuation of kind of forecast where the price is going to be. It's not always foolproof, but it works as a support level oftentimes, at least in bullish trends. So if this is a good, healthy bull run, then we'll see that the price will continue to increase above that. Also note too, where this resistance level here is based on Fibonacci, you can see that this price is getting stunted out right there at about 47 cents. So I'd say 47.5 to be exact is probably a pretty strong resistance level. So we should expect to see the price kind of consolidate between this range here. One last thing to note here, of course, and this is really, we're going to see a reset, of course, but generally speaking with TD sequential, if we look at TD sequential, we can see that we're at a 3 right now. So we have a strong likelihood of another, I would say, at least 6 to 12 hours worth of consolidation and or retracement. More so retracement down to 42 cents, but likely consolidation to see it go sideways for some time, just based on the sheer fact that we had this sharp increase and now we have to have a consolidation period, and most consolidation / retracements take about 9 hours from start to finish. That's kind of the average. Based on TD sequential, it counts from 1 to a 9. It kind of tells you the 4th previous candlestick is either higher or lower, and it counts up from there. In this case, we're at a 3. So we have no less than 6 hours of the price probably most likely going to be retracing down. Now, again, we have a nice support level here at 42 cents, but I would be surprised if the price were to kind of break above 47 cents in the near future. We should at least expect another, again, maybe 8 to 12 hours of consolidation. And the reason why I would like to see that, first of all, is because any good bull run has to have a staircase pattern. And if you're new to my channel, you'll hear me say this a lot. A staircase pattern would need to look like something like this, right? Now, the fact that it went straight up and it's coming down, that's pretty standard. That's a very normal thing. But for it to be able to come up again, we need to have a longer period of consolidation, followed by an increase, and likely bounce off of support. So one of these two levels will establish itself as a support level. For right now, it's too early to tell. The one-day candlestick hasn't closed yet. That's the really big factor there. So keep in mind, a lot of these support and resistance levels that I've created, they were on the one-day chart, of course, based on Fibonacci. But if you create one on, just say, the 4-hour or the 1-hour chart, just keep in mind, the smaller the time frame, the less reliable the resistance and support levels are. So just keep that in mind. Right now on the 1-hour chart, we can see that price has gotten rejected twice, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's a solid resistance level, right? Based on the 1-day chart, Fibonacci, we can tell that that is likelihood. That's a likelihood, but what I'm getting at is just that make sure we wait for the 1-day candlestick here to close. Usually it closes at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and whatever time zone that is for you. Wait for the candlestick to close, see where it stops. That's essentially the resistance level, okay? And or potentially a support, obviously depending on how the next 24 hours folds out. So just keep that in mind. Those are just little things to kind of understand. So, be careful in this scenario here. Obviously, future reference, I know it's easy to say now, but if you ever see a price increase like this, try not to just jump in and hope for the best, because that's literally gambling. Wait for the price to essentially establish support and resistance levels, and then invest based on that. Okay, so again, this is investing. I like to reiterate that because some people just kind of just hope for the hope. Hope isn't a good quality in trading, right? We don't want to be hopeful. Obviously, I guess you do in a sense, right? But the common denominator here is that hope doesn't pay the bills, right? Support and resistance levels do. So make sure you respect these support and resistance levels, and essentially wait for it to become more consistent and confirmed, right? We need confirmation these support levels are holding, and it's a little too early to tell for that, okay? So I hope you are careful on this and be wise, be smart. Thank you so much to my patrons for requesting that I cover this here today. And if you're not part of my Patreon community, jump in there. It's a really awesome experience. I send out signals for every single swing trade, day trade that I take, and I trade about 85% overall. But I always take profits, and I'm always very patient. So if that kind of fits your trading style, great. If you're kind of a risky, just crazy, not saying that's crazy, but if you are a riskier trader, my trading style may not work better for you, and that's okay. You can find somebody else that wants to tell you to go to the moon. No worries there. But thanks again so much for your time here today. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.